welcome to this podcast on the New Era Radio. Today, Monday, February 2nd, 2015. I have a great guest today. Her name, Kaz Blueskywolf. She's a medium and a psychic, and she lives in Northern Ireland. And I'm very, very happy to have her as guest for this podcast. So, hello, Kaz. Thank you for accepting the invitation on the New Era Radio. So, I'd like to start with the conversation we had a few days ago about your experience. You had a special experience. Would you care to give us, an insight on what happened?
Yeah. I was out on my husband's computer out in the hall. I normally be on my own laptop, obviously in the one, but I'm out in the hall and I have my headphones on, listening to music, and the next thing I hear a male, an Australian male. He had a very broad accent. He was saying things like what I was trying to pick up. I was trying to get him to talk slow, but that didn't work. The things I did pick up from him were, first of all, work and over, like he was saying, over after each sentence he was talking. I could see, I knew he was a pilot. I just felt he was a pilot. And I could see lots of water. I also got the year 1942 and the name of Tom. I'm not into World War II or World War One at all. I have never had interest in those type of things. But it turns out I was talking to a very good friend of mine who actually is gifted himself, and he mentioned World War III to me. I kept listening, but with my headphones on, there was an awful lot of static, which kept going at different frequencies, if that makes sense. I could hear like a beat, which is coming through the headphones also. It was definitely not coming from the computer whatsoever. It was just plain and simple coming through my headphones to me. I felt panicked off this male's energy. I could literally see the nose of the plane dipping down. It went quiet, and it was like whether or not the plane had actually crashed, I'm still unsure of. But I had the same experience on Saturday there. Only this time I got numbers, which I found a little strange. I almost swore that I heard him say my name, but I can't be 100% definite on that. He did give me numbers. He was repeating 48, 48, 48. He said something after that there, but I didn't catch it. I asked him, would he please repeat what he said, which he did. He said 48, 48, 48 again. And once he had said that, he had said whatever he had said, that one word in between again, which I didn't get again. And once he had said that, it was over again. He was saying over. I also got November and Echo, what he said too. And finally, he also mentioned what I could hear was England and Northern Ireland. So I'm a little unsure as to where this is going to take, because this is a new experience to me. I haven't had this type of an experience before. I guess time really tell whether, I'll get anything more from what he says to me. I did go out to the computer yesterday and I didn't get anything, which was a little bit odd. But then it would normally be on a Saturday that I would go out to my husband's computer because he would obviously be using my laptop. So for now, that's the experience of what I've been experiencing over this week and last week.
That's very interesting. It reminds me of the movie White Noise. Actually, they made two of them. The White Noise, they use entities in dead people. They're able to communicate with humans when they use electronic means like a radio, television, a computer, and it's been documented and recorded. There's some websites about this. They call it white noise, but it's like static. But if you adjust the tuning, you can hear voices, and I find it truly amazing that you experience this. Give us an idea how and when did you find out that you had these psychic and medium abilities?
You want me to be totally honest?
Yes.
All my life.
But how did it come about? How did you react when you first you had your first communication?
Well, my first communication with birth was I was actually 9 years old. It was actually one of my grandmothers. She had come to me. Now this is very funny and a very weird type of communication. But I was laying in my bed and I was worrying. I hadn't brought a library book back to the library in time. So I was really worrying about this and I had just looked up to the ceiling and all I could see was my grandmother's face looking down on me as plain as day. And by the way, my grandmother did pass when I was 9 as well. It was almost like she was showering me, if you understand me, with calmness and love. And it took the panic and the anxiety that I was feeling over something so silly. Although I was a child, it was still, it was something silly and stupid kind of. But my grandmother was the first person that I ever seen. I had no fear when I seen her, nothing at all. To me, it felt natural, normal. I used to be up the stairs when I was a kid too, and I could literally feel somebody watching me. And when I got this feeling, I would have almost basically ran down the stairs, almost fell to get down the stairs that quick. Silly things started, I guess, from I was 9 years old, things started to heighten. I also astro when I was 9 years old. I know this for a fact because I was at some kind of caves and we lived nowhere near any, there was no caves, there is no caves anywhere near us at all. So I knew that I had been somewhere. I had woke up the next morning, my bedroom light was on. Now I don't know, to this day, I actually questioned friends, the other spiritual friends about this. And they also said, that it's definitely, to them, it sounded like I was an astro from 9 years old.
That's very, very, very interesting. I have tons of questions for you, Kaz. When you enter in contact with an entity, does that entity uh, sort of possesses you and you talk through that entity for that entity, or is it a normal communication that you can hear and that the entity can hear, or how does it work?
Um, I did have an experience a few years back where I literally felt like I was using my eyes, the spirit was using my eyes to show me things that she wanted me to see for the reader, or for, sorry, the reader, the client. As I was sitting, we were both sitting in the same room. I was doing that reading for her. Like I say, my eyes literally felt really, really strange, weird. I I couldn't understand this, but as I was giving this to you, it was actually a friend of mine, and she was able to tell me that it was literally, that was her aunt that had passed over, and her aunt was actually blind in this lifetime. So I am I'm unaware if that is what happened, why she looked through my eyes and was showing me through her eyes, my eyes, if you understand. It was also a weird experience too. It was one that I have never really experienced either.
Very interesting. Have you ever worked
Yeah.
with law enforcement to find missing people?
No, but it is something that I do be interested in, like,
So it never happened yet, but it
mm,
might.
like,
Okay, it might. You never know, because
no,
some psychics do that.
yeah,
Uh, so I see. I'm on the website right now, blueskywolf1.com,
yeah,
and it's a beautiful website, by the way. And
thank
I
you.
see that you do some past life email readings. Could you explain how that works?
Ah, yeah. Um, it's, it's a very fascinating, it's a really, really good type of reading. Um, it literally has come about this past, let me say, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months maybe. So it's kind of relatively new gift to me. It's something that I've always been interested in, has been past life history wise, but not as in the respect of World War II, anything like that. As in the respect of Victorian times, Edwardian times, Georgian times, that type of thing. Um, I was literally doing an email reading for a client of mine one day, and the next thing, it, oh, it blew me away. It was like I was literally standing in a time era that was not this time. It was a way, way back where you had like knights and swords, and I could literally see this lady, and I could see this male, but I could see the two of them were on the ground. The lady, she was wearing a white dress, a beautiful white gown, basically, and somebody had put a sword basically into her. I could see the blood and feel the blood draining from her, and feel the heartbreak from the meal. Now, when I had literally typed this out, what exactly what I was doing at exact time and whatever, I I asked the girl, could she verify that for me? I didn't know that she was also into past lives herself, and she was able to confirm what was given to me and what I think to be as one of her past lives.
That's truly amazing. So you do have
Yeah,
access. You do have access to the Akashic records. If you're able
yeah,
to see into past lives, you do have a special privilege to access via probably an entity that is that has a lot of power in the astral world that
Yeah,
allows you access to those records, and it's truly amazing.
it
Do
is.
you do you have that's another burning question right now for me. Do you see uh, possible outcomes? Do you see the future sometimes? Do you see some timelines, or
Yes.
do you see? Um, I know sometimes big events are really hidden; you can't see them. But can you see the future?
Yeah. Not all the time, but yes. And I will give you a prime example. This wasn't a very nice one, and it took me an awful long time to understand why Bert would tell me what I'm about to tell you. Um, this this is going back to June 2004. I had woke up. It was a new day, and I had said to my husband, this Bert just came to me. I says, during my sleep, and they have given me an exact date and the exact way that I was going to lose my mum. It was right down exactly everything that they showed me, the exact date. They gave me the 29th of September 2004. So you can only imagine how I was feeling from that June to the September, knowing that I couldn't stop this, or even though I'm a healer, I couldn't intervene. I couldn't
That's
do nothing.
I bet it must have been curious. Um,
It
uh,
was heartbreaking.
oh, I mean, it must have been, surprising to say the
It
least.
was. It was, yeah.
And but in a more general sense, do you see? Now this is going to be far-fetched a little bit, but do you see? Uh, do you have a glimpse into the future of humanity here on the planet? I mean, there's a lot of doom and gloom, let's say, on
Very much.
some of the social networks out there. But do you see a better humanity? Did you ever have the chance to see a beautiful outcome for humanity?
To be totally honest with you, from what I see in the world and from what I feel in the world, it's only going to get worse. There's going to be more wars. It's just people are going to continue to struggle. There's no sense in trying to sugarcoat things. It's just what I feel specifically and what I know. I haven't seen it like as in a glimpse, not in that way, but I can feel it.
Okay.
It,
Well, that's good enough for me.
yeah,
At least I know a little bit more now. It's
yeah.
very, very, very interesting. I mean, to have to talk with someone who can have access to some information from the other side, and it's do you work with different entities or always the same?
Well, I suppose different. Well, that Australian meal, that's different. That's different to me. Um, Mainly spark come over to me from people who say client base, and if I'm doing the reading, their mother or somebody very very dear to them would come through in the reading, and they show me themselves. They show me specific things that there's no way that I could have known, such as one in particular showed me a paper cut, and I was sat and I thought to myself, paper cut? Are you kidding me? But I give the girl what it was actually her mother. And I give the girl what her mother had been passing over to me. And even some of her own family didn't know that about the apricot. I have had spurred attack. I've had like empathy, if you like, attached itself to me, which was not very pleasant at all. Uh, Back then, I didn't know what was happening. I was quite well. I was way younger than what I am now. It literally felt like I couldn't breathe. It was a really, really horrible feeling. I had to get help of my fellow friends for to get this empathy, whatever you would like to call it, to get it away. And so, thankfully, with the collection of about 7, including myself, we were able to do that. We were able to basically pass them to the right, over to the right, basically, if you understand.
That's very interesting. So, do you do you have customers going to your place for readings, or is it just by internet?
No, I actually prefer now just doing readings of an email or basically online because I find it hard to disassociate myself with a client if a client was to come here and sit in my home with me. If it, like I have done live readings one-on-one on the person in front of me. I've done loads of them throughout the years, but I do find myself, because I'm very much empathic as well, I find that if the client gets upset, if there's a message brought through and it's from their loved one, they would get upset if tears start to come. I feel really, really terrible of that. And I just can't seem to cut that time off. Whereas I would basically be needing to do like, say, like a half an hour reading and maybe be still sat with that client for over an hour. So it's very hard for me for the disconnect with a person if I'm reading them. I can't bring myself to turn around to them and say, I'm sorry, but time's up. Sorry. That's not me. That's just not me.
And okay, and how do you when you started reading? Could you explain to me? Do you go into a kind of in a state of trance?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a trance as in being overtaken. But I definitely, the way that I put it is, I go into a different zone.
So you basically, if I hear you correctly, you're saying that you just change the frequency. You tune in to a different frequency.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
That's very, very interesting. Uh, I don't want you to reveal any names or anything, but what is the wildest reading you ever done?
Oh dear. Let's see now. There's many of them. I guess one of them would have been that friend of mine, her aunt, the feeling that she was using my eyes. That was pretty wild to me. Uh, I have got pretty annoyed at some birds that actually come through. If I'm not, if I'm like trying to have a sleep or something, during the day, if I'm tired or whatever, there was one that came through and would not leave me alone until I got this message through, and it was actually through one of my sister-in-laws, and it was her father. And he, no matter what I said, I tried to say to him, look, no, go away. I'm not listening. Go away. I'm not doing it. He wouldn't stop until I took this message on so that I could pass it over to my sister-in-law. And once I did, well, my sister-in-law, she was in awe. She couldn't believe it.
So that's that's very wild. I mean,
Yeah,
some of these entities are really uh, hard-headed, I guess.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And uh, oh, there's so many things to ask. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Uh,
Yeah.
it, what's the furthest you ever been in a past life reading? Did you go back to, let's say, the Roman era, or even before that? What's the furthest you ever been?
1600s, I think.
Did you say
Yeah,
did you say 600 years?
1600.
Oh, 1600. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. Very
yeah.
interesting. I read somewhere in a special book, very occult, that the average stay for a dead person in the astral world is around, on average, 800 years. But
Yeah.
some come back earlier, some come back later, but it's just an average. Some, will come back, will reincarnate like within, let's say 50 years. Others will wait longer. But it's interesting that you say 1600. So do you know where the location of that reading? Was it in Europe? Was it in France, England, Ireland? Where was it?
Um, I would need to go through my reading for to tell you exactly where it was, but I can tell you that when I'm doing a past life reading, you see, it really depends if I go from offering a one past life reading till five, right up until five. There have been people that have come to me and have had the five past life readings done. Therefore, I can go back further then, which is bring you right maybe say 600 in the year 600. But to be totally exact on what location without looking at my notes, I can't actually say. I would need to actually have my documents open.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very,
It's
very,
normally, I mean, I can normally tell. It's not me that tells. I get the information from Spirit, and they tell me what year. They give me a year. They give me a place, such as America, France, Ireland, anywhere. They give it to me, and I either see them. I could see them as a medicine person. Um, I could see them as a farmer, literally. It's all, everything's all, I could even see them as being a nun or a priest, but,
a
um,
non-Earth? Did you say a non-Earth place?
no, a nun.
Oh, a non. Oh, sorry.
Uh-huh. No, you're okay.
Because
Um,
the accent is not easy for me to decipher it sometimes. But
yeah,
I can understand most of what you're saying.
my Irish.
But it's very interesting. I see here in your menu, your left side menu on your website, and I'd like to remind the website of Kaz is Blue Sky Wolf One. So that's the number one. Blueskywolf1.com, and I see there in the menu that you do some tarot email readings. So you don't always use tarot, right? Right?
No, I don't always use no. But
Okay.
sometimes I use no tools at all. Basically, cards, any cards are basically only a tool. They're basically just a kickstart a rating, if you understand what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Do you do
Yeah.
sky charts or birth charts, or are you into astrology or life plan or something like that?
No, that's one thing. No, one thing. No, that I haven't been gifted with.
Okay. Well, it's a different branch, but I guess it's connected a little bit because
Yeah,
if we talk a life plan, we talk something that is I call it in my way of seeing thing. I call all the life plan the karma, and which is the same thing to me. It's
yeah,
all pre-authorized events, and
uh-huh,
this is why we have people that like you and others that are able to tap into this program because
yeah,
it is a program. It's fascinating, very very fascinating. So if somebody gives you, let's say, I would write you an email. I would tell you my name, my date date and time of birth, the
mhm,
location where I was born.
yeah,
I don't know what else you need for information, but if I was to give you all this information, you'd be able to do a reading basically on just the information I give you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. To me, there is people would maybe have a discussion about whether or not it's any different doing a reading face to face with the person or doing a reading by email with the person. With me, I have experience doing both types of readings, and I can honestly say that there is no difference whatsoever in doing an email reading to what there is to doing a reading with the person sitting in front of you. In
That
fact, an email reading to me, you would literally maybe get that bit more, and it is always very true because you have that email reading for the read back on.
this is amazing.
Yeah,
So there's no difference whatsoever. Okay,
no,
so uh, the same goes for past life email readings. I mean, for those readings, they probably need the information I just asked you. Like I just told you about, name, date of birth,
yeah,
place of birth, stuff. So you need all this information to go to the past. But
yeah.
can you do the same thing for the future if I was to provide this information to you?
Well, I would, go to the cards, and normally my wolf cards, the tarot cards, because I work with my wolf guide, which I have two animal guides of, and I work with Wolf himself and then with my two wolf guides and then myself, obviously, and whatever comes through. And yeah, yeah, I could get what now in future wise, I wouldn't say, but I'm going to tell you that this is going to happen in next year. You're going to be doing this next year. I just wouldn't do it because at the end of the day, everybody has free will. You can do a reading for somebody. Things can change. And like I say, everybody has free will. Nothing is ever set in stone. You know,
Well, yeah,
people,
I
I do have to say, people can get quite dependent on readings, which I don't agree with because they're literally living by what you're telling them. Therefore, it's like, it's not healthy to start with. It's not, it's not good for anybody, especially the one that say continues to try and seek more and more and more. Whenever really there's only so much that we can give. It depends what information you're getting as well. Me, in my case, it depends what information I'm getting for me to send over to the other person. You know what I mean?
yeah, I've heard horror stories of really, intense readings for the future,
Yeah,
and a psychic would, you know, I think it's morally wrong for a psychic to say to a person, well, you'll die in,
I don't agree with that. That
you'll,
is one thing that you will read on my website. One thing I would never tell anybody is a death.
yeah, that's what I was saying, because
Yeah,
this, you have a responsibility as a psychic or a medium, because uh, this kind of information could give a psychic shock to the person getting a reading. So it's better off, not saying anything. So yeah,
yeah,
I totally approve and agree with your stand on this. And
yeah.
I see here, and I continue down here, and I see something about healing. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Native American healing meditation? Do you give courses? Do you teach how? Is it part of your services?
I did used to teach. I actually used to teach 5 classes a week, but it kind of got too much for me because I was doing it on a freely base. I do have a separate website and I don't charge on it. But to me, I like to try and concentrate on my Blueskywolf one. Um, the healing itself, I done a healing course quite a few years ago. It actually was online, but it was in a place that I used to be a host on. Um, I really, really enjoyed doing this healing workshop. It was hard, but the things that you learned from it were things that will always stay with you. And from doing the Native American, the meditation, well, I have over 100 meditations. And in fact, there is one being published, uh, in silentvoicesmagazine.com. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's an online magazine. They're publishing one of my meditations next week, I think. Um, so on the healing respect, it's both spiritual and Reiki that I do, but I tend to lean more, even though I have got my Reiki and I went through it all, I tend to use my spiritual healing, which to me is more, it's all basically the same thing, it's the same energy, but I prefer the spiritual, just using the ordinary spiritual healing, which is quite, it can be quite strong as well. And I know that from my years of experience, I know that with sending distant healing, it has worked very, very well, and there have been so many people have benefited from it.
Very interesting. Very,
Yeah,
very interesting. I think I'll look into this. Uh, I see as well that you offer um, sort of counseling for people who grieve lost loved ones.
yeah, yeah.
So do you do that live on Skype voice, or how does it work?
It is something that I'm looking into at the minute, is actually working more on Skype. At the minute, no, it's more so based on if I was to get in touch with somebody or somebody was to get in touch with me online and they needed help, they were going through a rough time with trying to deal with grief or, you know, loss of any at all. It doesn't have to be a parent, a child, it can be a friend, an animal, it can be anything at all. And if somebody approaches me, then I will help that person to the best of my ability.
That's very good. I love to hear that. You really have it all covered. I think it's I see here the name Lisa Casa,
Yeah,
partner. Can you tell me a little more about this?
Lisa is Canadian also. Lisa is that neighbor of yours I was telling you about.
Oh
Um,
yeah, in Canada. Okay,
yeah,
okay, yeah. That's
um,
interesting.
she is she's world renowned for her abilities also, and her and I are very very close. To be honest, we're more like sisters than what we are, friends. We're very 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 close. Um, Lisa is Lisa's just Lisa. Lisa is brilliant. She is such a good soul. It is unreal. She has her own problems. I mean, she doesn't have it easy. She's like the rest of us. None of us have it easy. But she's very dedicated too, and she's actually on a radio show herself as well. Um,
Okay.
are there are there limits? Have you heard of that one?
No, no, no. I find it fascinating, and I hope to get that URL to visit
Yeah,
her website eventually. I mean, to maybe. So she has a radio show, you say?
yeah. Well, she actually she has a PR. His name's Ryan, and he, deals with our video stuff and that. But Lisa goes on radio. It's Furchies or something. I think there's three or four of them, or four or five of them that you know they get like quite renowned people on, and uh, they're doing, they're reading, they're picking up what they're giving what they're picking up from the said person.
Interesting. Very
I
interesting.
I really don't know how much I can say here on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll investigate further
but
because
yeah, she's a really good coach.
okay. So this is fascinating. Very fascinating. Uh, I have a burning question right now. Have you ever discussed with an entity how their world is set up, what kind of laws they have, how it works on the other side? Have you ever discussed uh, that situation with any of the entities out there you're in communication with?
Well, there was one time with my mum who my mum was already past at this stage, and I had actually gone to see a medium for myself because obviously I was in bad shape at that stage. And this medium, he had actually got me for the put my hand out. He put his hand out, and whatever he done, it was almost like I was standing next to my mum. I could see my mum as same as day, like I was there with her on the other side, and everything to me from what I seen was everything was much brighter. If you're talking trees, flowers, you're talking everything was so it was so beautiful. All you could see was like children running about. But don't get me wrong, in saying that, the other side do still have to do things on the other side. They're not just when we pass. This is my own belief. When we pass from this earth, we don't just go on to the other side and rest, and it's not like that. you still have things to do on the other side. For instance, whether or not you would like to come back on the earthly plane, if there is a lot of karma that you haven't sorted, you just you have that choice of coming back, but you don't go on the other side just to rest and that's it, have fun. That's not the way that I seen it at all.
Well, from personal experience, I believe that the an entity on the other side has no choice but to obey by certain rules of that world because their laws are totally different than ours.
Yeah.
And I think that most of the entities out there they envy us because they can't continue to evolve and experience, because when we incarnate, we experiment, we experience, we gather experience to fulfill the soul's journey on this planet. So I think they're a little bit jealous of us. I don't know. What's your opinion on this?
There could be ones, yeah, at times, yeah. There could. I mean, not everybody that goes to the other side are all sweet and innocent. They can be far from it. They can be. There can be nasty ones that pass over and continue to be nasty on the other side.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
That's all they know, memory wise. I mean, they continue the same patterns.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the people who die in their sleep? Are they? I don't know if you know this, but how long does it take on average for them to realize they passed?
If somebody, in my own personal opinion, if somebody goes quickly, if somebody goes in their sleep, if somebody takes a heart attack, if somebody even takes their own life, it didn't mean to, but they done it. It went through. You can get what is called the people. They're actually earthbound, and so they're going to need what is called. And I have also done plenty of this throughout my years too. It is called rescue. And what happens is they have been taken that quickly. They don't realize. They don't want to, for want of a better word, they don't want to admit that they have gone to that they have left this earth. So they've left the earth, yes, but they haven't, if you understand. Their spirit is still here. It's like they're stuck.
Yeah, it must be. Some people can't. Maybe some of the people who pass uh, don't want to believe it. They don't want to, or they're simply not aware of it. And maybe there's special, entities that are specialized in this this matter, that they go and find a soul that's not accepting or not admitting that they're dead, and they just go and see them and say, hey, hello, you're dead. So something.
No, it doesn't happen like that.
No, I'm just joking here, but I mean, we have to put a little humor here, but no, basically, I think there's entities that are specialized that will guide souls that have not admitted or have not realized that they're dead. So I think there's and there's for the more experienced souls in the astral world, they're probably working very hard to to make sure that the souls make it to the correct place, or their correct sphere in the astral world. So it's fascinating. I mean, just to think or to know that there is life after life. I mean, we're not just physical bodies. We have multiple bodies, and it's fascinating. I know a lot of people will say, well, nah, there's no such thing, if you die, you die, that's it. But I know better.
Yeah.
I know better.
Yeah.
But there's skeptics in just about anything, I guess. But to truly know this, to have the real knowing of this, you have to go through some uh, ex, some kind of experience to really know, like an out of body experience, either like in an awakened state. That happened to me many times, or
Yeah,
something like that.
me too.
So this is something that people can, oh, what's this? I'm floating.
Yeah.
I'm floating above myself. What is this? Or people who have a near-death experience will. I've read a lot of books on this, life after life, life after death, and there's a whole bunch. And it's truly fascinating to read all these accounts, and a lot of them are really similar. They see the tunnel, which I believe is a sort of a time tunnel.
Yeah.
According to what I know, the time is used as a mode of transportation on the other side. So it's not the same. They don't have the same use for time as we have here.
No.
But what's your take on this?
They don't have time. On the other side, there is no such, to me, there is no such thing as time.
Okay, so time is only a construct to have the ego have the impression that he has a, a linear experience, but on the other side, there is no time, right?
No, there is no time. No, definitely not.
Okay,
We have time on the circular screen, but then no, not on the other side.
okay. Well, that's very for somebody to wrap their minds around this concept of no time beyond the physical. It needs
Yeah, it would be hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not easy because the ego is so, used to having time, and
yeah.
so it's truly fascinating. Do you have an idea, or were you ever told of uh, how big that world is? How, the is it a galactic size, or how big is that world?
I've never been told it, but I'm sure it is enormous.
And compared, I'm going to ask another question here because this brings me back to this. Compared to the 7 billion people on the planet, is there approximately the same number of souls on the other side, or is there more or
I
less?
I would double that easy.
It's about even?
No, I would double it.
You would double it.
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
That's very interesting. So there would be like 14, 15 billion souls in the astral world.
Oh yeah. If there could be more than that.
There could be more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've never been asked that, but that was the first thing that came in my mind.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah,
I find it, very apropos, to ask,
yeah.
because this world is like, for a lot of people, I mean, it's intriguing,
Oh yeah, yeah,
when, what's on the other side? What happens when I die? And I know I have no fear of death whatsoever because I know for a fact that I'm eternal.
yeah.
I'm a spirit having a physical experience on this planet, but uh, so that's why I have no fear. But a lot of people, I mean, their biggest fear is death, and
Yeah,
even
there
if
are so many.
it's at the subconscious level, maybe, but it's death.
Yeah,
and or what's after death.
Yeah.
So, uh, you know,
There's so
have
many
you?
people.
Yes, go ahead.
There's so many people that uh, their fear, yes, is the. I will be honest here. I guess whenever I was about 4 year old, because I remember right back then I was 3. But when I was about 4 years old, death used to scare me even then. But that was a child thing. But as I grew older and just became more in tune and more, I don't know, it just everything seemed normal to me the way that I was. I mean, it wasn't normal. My friends would have looked at me like I had 2 horns. It was kind of like, what are you saying? What are you going on about? I would have asked them, have you got a song? What song have you got playing on your head? They would have looked at me and went, none. And I'd have looked back at them and thought, how can you not have a song playing in your head? I have one playing in my head all the time, every day. So that was something that they were like, and you got the funny look.
When growing up, when you were a teen, and you were in high school, did you have a did you keep quiet to yourself about your abilities, or did you share with other peers your experiences?
No, I didn't share because when I did try to say anything, including my best friend, lifelong best friend, she would have looked at me as if I had, like, oh, you've lost a plot, one of them. So it got to a stage where I was just saying nothing.
So
There was something up here.
that must have been pretty hard then to keep
It
all
was
the
hard.
yeah to keep all these secrets inside, all these abilities and
Yeah.
yeah, it's truly when did you start your how many years ago did you start your online website, or offering services for readings and stuff? How many years has it been?
I will now. I have been reading online about 16, 17 years now with different companies. Not out, but then I literally decided, not wait, I'm going to go out on my own here. So
That's okay. So do you do you have any other ways of doing readings beside online? Do you do you have like locals giving you a call on the telephone, the regular telephone, and you can do reading on the telephone?
I will be doing that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
that is
interesting.
something in the works.
Oh, interesting. So it's
Yeah,
sort of a toll-free number or something?
I'll be able to let you know better, I think, by next week.
Oh,
Or maybe this week.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
So keep us up to date on this.
yeah,
Have
I
you
know.
ever been to conventions outside of Ireland? I mean, conventions for psychic mediums and stuff like that, or have you ever been to these kinds of events?
No, everything basically that I know is just in me. And it's obviously been spirits that are leading me, if you know, and my guides that are also helping in a way. It's hard to explain because I've never went to a spiritual church. Um, I've never went to meetings. I am just, I'm just me.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I'm getting to know you here.
Yeah,
So, we're at the 1 hour mark now. Would you care to continue for a little bit? We'll take a little break and uh, we'll continue for a little while. I still have questions. Do you mind?
yeah, that's grand. Yeah,
Okay, so we'll take a little pause here and
yeah.
we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So I'm with Kaz Blueskywolf. She's a medium and a psychic, and she lives in Northern Ireland. In the first hour, we learned a lot about everything that you offer, all the services for readings and stuff like that. But how do you cope with the services you offer and your private life? I don't know if you have a family, kids, or
I do. I have a husband and I have my two daughters. Yeah, but we cope. It's basically part and parcel of our lives. I mean, this is another story too. When I was 11 years old, I first set eyes on my husband, and I said to two of my very, very good friends who I went to school with that
You knew already at
I
11?
knew.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
knew.
Oh,
I
how
one look at him
interesting.
and I was like, he's going to be mine. We
Oh,
will be married. And we were
you knew
engaged.
that at 11 years old?
I knew that at 11, yes.
Ah,
And when
that's
we got married, my friends actually stood at the top of the street and they were stood in shock.
they were. I
They were
bet they
literally
were.
shocked. Yeah. And I was like, well, I told you when I was 11, you know, it was just something I just knew.
That's totally amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
do you have any other situations like this? I mean, this is
I
like,
know what's
uh,
funny.
yeah, it's really, I mean,
It's
I know,
hard. But,
it's, well, it's a good one. I mean, but did he know
well, he knew it when I said it to him.
it? Okay,
Yeah.
how did he react?
Well, he was kind of at that stage. He was like, "Yeah, right, yeah." But
Okay.
we ended up, we were engaged when I was 15, and we got married then just after I turned 20.
That's truly amazing.
So we've been together all these years, and we
Oh,
have two wonderful girls who are actually miracles in themselves too.
are you and your husband soulmates?
Oh, we are definitely, yeah.
How many lifetimes do you figure you were together?
At least 6, 7, at least,
6 or 7 times.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's truly amazing. So
yeah.
you really follow each other from incarnation to incarnation.
Oh, yeah,
It's all totally awesome.
yeah.
Totally awesome. And how do your daughters? I mean, I don't know their age, but they they um they support you 100%. I hope.
Oh,
And
they do. I mean, they have watched me reading. It's part of their upgrowing. I mean, they're one of them's almost my eldest. She's coming 19, and my youngest is has just turned 17. I would say my eldest is she is gifted herself.
oh, so it's in the genes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so did she start having experiences that you may have had yourself?
Yeah,
Okay,
she
that's.
done she done the whole thing of nearly falling down the
And,
stairs.
and what about the
Uh,
young one? The,
Yeah, she is gifted, and I mean they've both seen my mother.
uh-huh.
They have seen my son that well was their little brother, who I lost through miscarriage. I wasn't
Oh,
very far on, but I knew he was a little boy.
okay,
Uh, I've actually lost three, so that was one little boy and two other girls.
okay.
And they have both seen their three, the brother and two little sisters. They have both seen, like I say, my mother. They have also seen my husband's father, and he passed at a very early age, too, of 43, very sudden. Um, but the older one, as she has got older, she would see more. There's quite a lot of activity that goes on in her bedroom, which she is not too happy about, but it happens. So she used to tell me, "Mommy, I hate this." But I used to clean her room and smudged it and would have give off the spark and told them to back off, leave the two girls alone, that they would choose their own path when they're ready.
But
So
you must as a psychic you must know a little bit what will happen uh, with them, no?
Oh, I do. I know my eldest one. I know that that is something that she is going to have for the rest of her life.
Okay.
The youngest one is gifted too, as I say, but she is not quite as strong
Oh,
gifted
oh,
that way.
okay.
And they're both, well, the four of us in our house, husband included, the four of us are very much empathic.
Okay. Does your husband have some sort of a psychic abilities?
He actually does.
Good. So that's a
It's the
psychic
whole
family.
family.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
The
it
whole
is a lot
family.
of fun.
So you can't really hide anything from anyone within the
No,
family. So
no.
it's an open relationship, you know. You got
It
to
is.
be honest all the time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The girls try it now and again, not to be honest, but it's like, one of the looks, the mummy look, or the daddy look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
I-
hey, why are you lying to me? You know?
yeah, it can be really funny.
Yeah, that must be really interesting. I mean, I see here that you also have a blog. Do you write on a regular basis?
I do try to, yes. I was doing weekly, if you click onto that blog, I used to do a weekly forecast. That was just each week, or I would have done a card a day, which I'm going to get back into actually and start doing that. That was in my mind yesterday, but kind of way slipped out.
So that
I didn't,
they'll be able to click on blog and see what you'll start again.
yeah,
Those daily or weekly, depending on your schedule, but daily or weekly blog posts.
yeah,
That's very very interesting. Uh, the meditation now. I see that you talk about meditation, so you teach people how to meditate as well.
yeah.
And
I have taught a lot of people online for the meditate,
okay,
and I actually have an ebook out as well, which is on Lisa's website because my website can't do the ebook. It can't sell the ebook. It
oh
doesn't have the facilities for to do that.
okay. So oh that's it's an ebook or it's a hardcover.
Well, it's an ebook. It's actually in PDF format.
Oh, it's a PDF format. Okay,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
okay.
And there are 30 of my meditations in it, and all photography was very kindly donated to me by Lisa.
Okay. When it's an electronic format like that, it's kind of hard not to to have some of these people share it online. Maybe do you see this as a problem?
Well, not really, but when somebody actually, somebody wants it and somebody goes over to Lisa's website and purchases it, it can only, whatever way Lisa has it set up, it can only be downloaded once.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah,
Okay. So that's very interesting.
yeah,
So there's a sort of protection on it. Okay.
yeah,
And uh, I see here a sample of healing, three-card reading with Archangel Raphael and yourself.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have a direct communication with an archangel?
I do. Yes, he's actually my birth archangel.
Interesting. And
Yeah,
is that contact almost on a daily basis?
yeah. I actually say Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael with this most beautiful green soft healing blanket. And when I think of him, that's what I say. And if I'm healing, if I'm doing distant healing, I call upon him.
And he never misses a rendezvous?
No, never misses. He's
Wow.
always there.
He's always there.
Yeah, always there.
That's
And he's fantastic.
so when you need it, when you need him, he's there. That's
Yeah,
truly amazing. Truly
yeah,
amazing. So I'd give I'd give a lot just to have a glimpse of one of your readings, live. Uh,
yeah.
that would be so awesome. Maybe one day, I don't know. Maybe I'll, 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 I'll fly to Ireland or something. Uh,
Well,
you never know. You never know. Well, right now I'm kind of stuck here, but eventually I'll start traveling again, and there's so much I want to see in this world. But to come back to the subject at hand here, um, what about your clients? Do you have a clientele, a regular clientele that will come back on a regular basis?
I do.
Okay.
I'm very lucky that way, yeah.
Okay, so you must be very good because when psychics build a regular clientele that will come
Yeah,
and come back and come back, that means they're getting what they're looking for. They're getting
yeah.
what they want, which is truly truly amazing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um So that was so nice. I mean, thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up here, and please remind our listeners of your website and info, so they can browse and look at all the services you offer, and possibly even ask for your services. So please remind our listeners of your website information and any other information to reach you.
Okay, well, I'm Kaz Blueskywolf, which is actually my spiritual name. My website is www.blueskywolf1, as in the number one, .com. And if you want to drop an email, please feel free to do so at blueskywolf1 at gmail.com.
So that's blueskywolf1@gmail.com. So that's your email address.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's very, very good. Hopefully, we'll have another talk in the near future. I would love to continue another round, another session, because this is truly amazing. Maybe we could go deeper into some of the subjects we've uncovered today.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you very much for accepting my invitation, Kaz, and
Thank you also.
and I will have this recording sent to you very, very quickly. And I'd like to remind people as well that there will be a YouTube version, and will be posted on Kaz's website.
Yeah.
So that will be done today. Thank you again, and thanks for listening.
And thank you.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.